91% chance of winning re-election. Helmut Norpot's primary model also predicts President Trump will win 362 electoral votes to Biden's 176. 362 to 176. Joining us now is Helmut Norpot, political science professor at Stony Brook in New York, Stony Brook University, and his model has correctly predicted, as we said, the vast number of wins over the past 20-some-odd elections, and correctly predicted President Trump's victory in 2016. It is great to have you with us, Professor. What have you got right that the rest don't see?
Well, glad to be back, Lou. I depend on real elections, real polls, not hypothetical ones. And as you said, over 100-plus years of elections, a formula that uses the outcome of primary elections plus something else has done pretty well in picking the winner in presidential elections.
I want to put up your prediction, Professor, if we could put up the full screens here because there are a lot of numbers to absorb. But President Trump, in your prediction, 362 electoral votes to Biden's 176. That is, in many ways, the inverse of what most forecasters, pollsters are putting out. What is fundamental to the 362? What is the foundation, that is, the states that he has to win to get to 362?
Well, I don't know the exact number of states. My prediction is based on sort of the overall number of electoral votes that I track over the last sort of 27 elections going back to 1912. I would have to speculate exactly on what states would be included there. Certainly all the states that he won last time, plus two or three others, and I can't quite make a complete prediction about that. That's something sort of above my pay grade. Other people who do state-by-state predictions would have to help me out with that. But what I'm definitely saying is that Donald Trump has a 91% chance of clearing 270, which is the minimum to win election, or re-election in this case.
Well, that number is astonishing, and it's just about the inverse. For example, if you look at 538, any number of polls give him about a 10% chance, and his opponent 90. How confident are you in this number this year? When you and I talked 4 years ago, you stood alone, and you stand alone in 2020. I think that's a pretty good indicator for the outcome of this election. But tell us what there is that gives the president such a dominant position going into tomorrow's election.
Well, as you mentioned, I've gone through this experience before in 2016 when I was at odds with these kind of predictions based on polls that gave Donald Trump barely a chance. There were some that gave him barely a 2% chance. 538 was a little better than that. But I think in retrospect, we know that Donald Trump's victory will come from a handful of states which are very competitive, and which he won by a pretty narrow margin, like Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, and of course he has to hang on to Ohio, North Carolina, and Florida. And I think if he does that, I think he can do a repeat, even though he may lose the popular vote again, which happened last time. The popular vote is so skewed in states like California, where Hillary Clinton won by more than 4 million votes. That was more than her national total. So there are just a couple of states, and you add New York to it. And so for Donald Trump, it's very important to really concentrate on a handful of battleground states. And when I look at those states, I see that while Donald Trump is perhaps behind overall in the average. He's about where Hillary Clinton was 4 years ago. So I can see the same thing. And if the polls haven't really learned anything or done anything better this time than last time, I don't see that they would be right and I would be wrong.
Well, there are a lot of people hoping you're right, Helmut. We appreciate it, Professor. Good to see you. Thanks so much. Helmut Norpot, and we will give you a victory celebration, victory lap here on the show this week. The Lou Dobbs Tonight quotation of the day comes from my book, The Trump Century.